Hi guys, I'm Nicholas King from houseofelectroniccigarettes.com. I'm here today to review the Green Smoke product. Now, as you may know, I did this before, but I had a very dodgy microphone. In fact, it was one of those microphones that was installed as part of the PC. Actually, it was a laptop, and every time the hard drive ran, you could hear this rustling in the background, and you could just about hear me. You really had to rank that volume up. And then, of course, if people forget that they ranked the volume up and play something else for it, it blasts them. So I thought I would redo the video with a proper microphone. Hopefully you can all hear me great this time. And we're looking at the Green Smoke product. Green Smoke product is one of the best electronic cigarettes out there. It's not by any means the cheapest electronic cigarette, but it is rated by House of Electronic Cigarettes as #1, along with V2 cigarettes and Smoke 51, so they're the top three. Now, electronic cigarettes, they do tend to have their critics. Some people don't like Green Smoke and think that it's a waste of money because it's a very expensive bit of kit, and they usually go for V2 cigarettes or go for another make completely. And the way I like to rationalise it is that everybody's got different flavours and tastes. That proves for I'm a smoker myself. I smoke Marlboro Lights, and when I switch from Marlboro Lights to, say, Lucky Strikes or Camel, I can taste the difference, and I don't like it. And that's the same with electronic cigarettes. So it's a case of getting used to it to start with. But as soon as you start getting used to it, then you can, appreciate the quality in it. And that's how we at House of Electronic Cigarettes did our reviews. We tried them for a period of time, not just a quick one puff and then write a review about it and rank it. We actually tried it for a 3-month period and tried and got used to the flavours to decide which was the best. So let's look at the Green Smoke product in a little bit more detail. As you can see, this is the starter kit. It says starter kit in the top left-hand corner there, or right-hand corner as you're looking at it. It's left-hand for me, honestly. It's a very good product, very good box. It's got a metallic little clip there, as you can hear. It clips back very well, which means you can pack it quite good for Christmas or for birthdays. And if somebody opened it as a birthday present, they'd think, "Oh wow, that looks pretty good, pretty funky." It's all very solid as far as the packaging is concerned. If you open it up, this is a starter kit. You've got the electronic cigarette with a large battery on there, which we'll look at in a little bit detail, and you get a spare smaller battery. The only difference between the larger and the smaller battery is the battery life, of course. So the smaller battery will last about a day on full charge, when a larger battery could last 2, 3, even a week. I found that mine larger battery, which I wasn't using as much, maintained its charge for a week when I was using it on and off. But if you're using it all the time, a couple of days is probably the maximum if you're puffing at it all the time like I am. Okay, so let's look at the battery first. So this is the electronic cigarette. I'm going to unscrew it, and we'll look at the cartridge in a little bit. But first of all, we're going to look at the battery. So this is the larger battery. I'm using this today because it's the one I have charged. The other one needs charging still. I did have it on charge, but I thought I'd make this video, so I've taken it off just to put it in its packaging again. So there's the product. You can see the logo just about. It's a little bit light in here, so apologies for that. My contrast isn't quite right. But you get the Green Smoke logo on the very edge there. And then on the very edge you've got this brass end, and you can see that hole at the end. That's to allow, when you suck, that's allowed the air to come through and activate the battery, which activates the atomizer, in the cartridge, which we'll talk about in a sec. So that's the brass bit, and then this is kind of a ceramic, kind of plasticky. No, it's more of a ceramic, I'd say. And then at the end there you've got a little LED. You can have different colour LEDs. In fact, in the box itself, as you can see, you have a number of different LEDs in there. I'm not sure whether I'm showing them. They're little plastic caps that go on the end there, and I think they change colour. I never bother with that. I'm not really fussy as far as what colour it glows. One of the main purposes of the colour glowing is to judge whether the battery needs to be charged or not. So when it starts flickering after you take a puff, it means it needs to be put on recharge. Now in here, underneath this second package here, you have the charger. Now the charger comprises of two parts, at least it did when I bought the product. It consists of this, which is the USB end with a little screw on for the battery to be screwed in, and then that plugs into a wall plug, which is actually in my wall at the moment, if everybody knows what a USB plug looks like. Now you can plug that either into your computer, which is what I do, or you can plug it into the wall plug and run it straight off the mains. It's completely up to you, just like a mobile phone. So here's the battery, the larger battery. Here's the USB charger, and it just literally clips into there, and then you screw it in. Once you've screwed it in, you can see that it's pretty, robust. It's not flaky. It doesn't, like other electronic cigarettes, some of them don't feel as if they fit properly, but this is all very well made. Now it's made in good old USA. It's all very good as far as quality is concerned. You won't have a problem at all, and if you do, their customer services are supreme. They really do get on top of the matter straight away, but it's very rare that something goes wrong, I've been told. I certainly haven't had any issues with it, and any of my customers either. Well, there has been a couple of issues with batteries about 3 or 4 years ago. No, less than that, sorry, about 18 months and 2 years ago. And that was mainly because they were making their batteries and making the product from China and importing it over to the US. So now they've fixed that completely by scrapping the China shipping and importing and actually building it in the USA. So there's no problems as far as batteries are concerned these days. In fact, they're going out. Most of their R&D, I say most of their R&D, but some of their R&D is involved in extending the battery life, and we've actually gone to, I think, a 3rd or 4th release already of the battery itself. So it really is one of the good batteries on the market today. So be careful when you read reviews, because you don't know how old those reviews are. But this, as far as 2011, as far as I think it's 7th today, 7th of October 2011. The battery is very good. Okay, so that's the battery. That's the charger, which we looked at. It's got a little LED on there as well to show you when it's charging and when it's fully charged, which is quite handy, red and green. We're going to look at the cartridges now. Now the cartridges, again, about 6 months ago, I think it is, I've changed their cartridges again for the better. Let's have a look at the cartridges pack. This is the menthol pack, i.e. it's in blue. You've got different flavours which are in here somewhere. So I think I've got tobacco flavour, which is yellow, and then you have coffee flavour, which is a very popular brand, believe it or not. I quite like the menthol, I've got to admit. Within these packets, if I open them up, rather than just being a regular, sorry, open it up from the top there, rather than just being a regular cartridge just falling out like before, this was their old model, and they had a medium written on there. They just had rubber ends at the end, and it wasn't keeping it very fresh. So now what they've done is they've actually put it in foil. So just like you see, that one's actually opened a little bit. I've taken one out so it's ripped. As you can see, it's in the plastic foil, just like you would expect pharmaceutical tablets to be in, all sealed. And then you've got a rubber stop up one end, and then you've got a little sticker at the other end to stop any of the flavour being lost in transit or whilst it's in storage. So great idea. They're a little bit longer as well, which means, I think they're a little bit longer, a tiny little bit longer. If we look at the old one, if we compare it with the new one, you can see it's, I'd say about less than 5 mil. So it's a little bit longer, but nothing to really affect the look or feel of the product. So here's one I opened before. You've still got the writing on there, which says menthol and light. So I know that that's a light as far as tobacco is concerned. You can't read it in here, but it's got it in slightly gold writing. It's got menthol to tell you it's menthol, but also the colour kind of gives it away. Blue being menthol, brown being original, and darker brown I think for coffee. And you can get it in different flavour, different strengths of nicotine. So this is a light. I'm coming off some cigarettes now, so I'm on the lights. So I was going to talk about the atomizer and the cartridge. This cartridge has the atomizer actually built in. This is great as far as the customer is concerned. Well, there's positives and negatives. The positive is that if you smoke a number of flavours like mint or coffee or original, a lot of people leave the atomizer in and then just change a cartridge, and then you get a bit of the residue on the atomizer which mixes the flavours and you don't get a good pure quality vapour. But with green smoke, because the atomizer is built into the cartridge, you can't cross-contaminate the atomizer. It's always new for when you bring a new product, so you get the fresh burning of the vapour, and you can't cross-contaminate. So they're the two advantages. The bad news is that the cartridges are slightly more expensive. We're not talking huge amounts of difference. We're talking about, you know, $1 or so more expensive than other brands that are out there which have a 3-part design. In fact, a lot of electronic cigarettes are moving over to the 2-part design now. So I think Green Smoke was the pioneers as far as that was concerned. So that's the atomizer and the cartridge and the flavouring in there. Just a little bit about the atomizer. What the atomizer does is, we saw the hole on the very end of the battery. When you suck, that activates the air coming through the battery, activates the battery, and the battery heats up the atomizer. The air running through the atomizer heats up and it creates a vapour from the airflow. And then the vapour goes through the cartridge, the bottom bit of this cartridge, which is where the flavouring is, and that creates the flavouring and the water vapour that you've just produced from going through the atomizer, and then that's what you inhale and blow out. So we're going to give it a demo now. So here's the battery, here's the cartridge, simple click and screw. Sorry, there's no click, it's just a screw. I want to be clear. There's the whole product fully. Now, when you first smoke on, this has been sitting down for a little bit, when you first smoke an electronic cigarettes, you usually have to give it one puff just to activate the battery and activate the atomizer, just to warm it up. So let's do that first. I might get a bit of vapor, but usually it's better after the atomizer's warmed up a little bit. So the first one's generally not as good as the others, but I'm sure I'll still get some vapor. I didn't get any vapor. So that was the first one. So I've warmed up and activated the atomizer now. So now I can smoke it like a proper cigarette. There we go. I'm getting my vapor. I'm getting a nice hit of menthol in there. Now that's nice and warm, I should be able to get more and more vapor. There you go. This has been sitting down for a while, hence why it took one puff to get the atomizer working okay. I'm just going to smoke another one just to show you. So you can see there's a lot of vapor involved in there, and green smoke is one of the best in providing the most amount of vapor. Now, because of that fact, it's all down to the cartridges. So what I would suggest is, when you buy the starter kit, is see if you can buy a cross selection of the cartridges. If you're a smoker, stick with the mediums and the highs as far as the nicotine flavour is concerned. That's it really as far as my green smoke electronic cigarette is concerned. Don't think I've left anything out. Please feel free to visit my site at houseofelectroniccigarettes.com and give me an email or give me your comments below this video, and I'll of course get back to you. Thanks very much, and thanks for viewing my video.